Cool, cool, cool. Cool, 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 cool. Welcome back to the show. Welcome back to the podcast. You're with me on the Kevin Wright Show, the Kevin Wright Podcast. Man, I've been talking with a lot of friends about our regular topics, about like how to get the best out of life. We identified that one of the biggest roadblocks to happiness currently that our group is dealing with, and my friend group, is like a revenge narrative. There's a lot of us who are living out a revenge narrative. We are not getting the best life. We're not living the best life because we're fucking stuck on revenge towards someone who hurt us. Now, I know revenge is a strong word, and it's not the perfect definition for the way we react and the way we live toward those who hurt us in the past. But for lack of a better word, how many of us are stuck on some goddamn revenge narrative? How much of our life is preoccupied with the revenge narrative? Life is crazy. I get it. Like, we all get hurt. And there's a ton of people out there who have hurt us, and maybe some people who continue to hurt us. But when we start living with a goal to get back at them, when we start giving them time in our life, giving a revenge narrative time and energy, we're not living the best life we can live. Revenge is a motivating thing. I get it. But I think there's a better way to live life. So today on the podcast, we're going to talk a little bit about that. I'm just going to throw out some ideas about revenge and some ideas about how that revenge shit will clog up your life, fuck things up, and then give two things that I've learned, 2 action steps on how to move forward, on how to move on from a life where somebody hurt you. There's this whole societal movement toward the idea of forgiveness, and you need to forgive in order to move on. You need to experience forgiveness toward the person who hurt you so that you can have a better life and you can find peace and you can live out your days and that sort of thing. I think the word forgiveness is a problem. In getting over revenge and getting over trying to hurt those who hurt you, I think forgiveness is a roadblock because the word itself is so loaded. The word forgiveness has all of this religious, hierarchical, crazy tradition, bullshit, mysticism attached to it. And really, I think the word we should be using is moving on. You know, people say you need to forgive your ex. You need to forgive your parent, that person in authority who hurt you as a child. You need to forgive that school teacher. You need to forgive that best friend. You need to forgive that ex-wife, ex-husband, your ex-girlfriend. You need to forgive them. But really, it has very little to do with the person who hurt you and more to do with you and moving on. I think we should switch out the word forgiveness and start saying moving on. Instead of what's it going to take for you to forgive that person who hurt you, we start encouraging our friends and encouraging each other saying, what's it going to take to move on? What are the steps toward moving on? Forgiveness, like I said, it's this loaded word. If you grew up in a religion, any religion, doesn't matter. Forgiveness is always a part of the mantra. It's always a part of the doctrine and the dogma. You got to forgive. And it's so loaded because you're taught, one, you need to forgive everyone who hurts you. And you usually don't get the skills and the steps to go along with that. But on top of that, you also are taught that whoever creates the universe, whoever the God is that's out there, you need to get forgiveness from them. You need to get forgiveness because you're bad. You're bad. You're a bad little bitch. You got to figure out how to get forgiveness from the force creator of the universe, the Jedi magic force God, Jesus. You got to go figure out how to be forgiven. And so there's all this loaded gobbledygook and strange shit that we pressurize and put onto our kids. And so the word forgiveness becomes very, very lost and very, very complicated. Now, today in like pop psychology and in counseling and therapy, I know what people are trying to say when they say forgiveness, but I think it's too loaded. I think we need to exchange that word and cash it out, throw it out, and start using the word move on. What's it going to take to move on? You know, what's it going to take for you to move on and not base your life on being hurt by that person from your past? Dude, I get it. We all have hurts. We all have hurts and open wounds. I encourage a lot of my friends and I encourage a lot of my clients and the people I'm with and some of the people I'm coaching, even in business, that you don't have to forgive. You don't have to forget. You don't have to do anything with that person. You don't need to meet with them again. You don't need to have a closure meeting. You don't have to have a closure conversation. You don't have to do any of that stuff. You don't have to abide by any religious rules. You don't have to abide by any commandments with regards to the person who hurt you. You just got to figure out a way to move on. And maybe that looks different for everybody. There's a young man I was mentoring in a business relationship. Awesome young man. He's got tons of potential. He's going to go out there and kill it. But he kept coming to me and saying, like, I'm stuck because everyone's telling me to forgive my dad. My dad used to beat the shit out of me. My dad used to beat the shit out of me. My dad used to abuse me and my siblings. And everyone is saying, like, I won't be able to be healed and I won't be able to move forward unless I have these, like, forgiveness moments with him. And I got to figure out how to love him and all this. And the first thing that I told this young man is, you don't have to do anything with that guy. One, it's okay to recognize that he hurt you and talk about it. Talk about it to your friends. Talk about it to me. Recognize you got some hurts there. You got some wounds. And bring that up and open it up. And just by doing that and talking about it on a regular basis and making it a regular part of your life, there's going to be some healing there. But you don't have to do anything with that man. You can shut him off from your life. You don't have to have conversations with him. There's no rules on how it works on individual forgiveness, individual moving on, dropping your revenge narrative. This man is hurt and broken by someone who was supposed to be loving and nurturing and protecting of them, but instead was an abusive father who actually punched his son in the face, his little boy in the face. It's so fucked up. And then other authorities in life are telling this young man, you need to go and love that man and forgive him. I'm like, no, you don't. You don't have to do any of that. You don't have to do any of that. We just got to figure out a way for you to move on. As a matter of fact, I think if we focus on some other ways to move on, we don't even have to think about that man. You know, he doesn't even have to be a major part of your life. Maybe somewhere down the road they can reconnect. Maybe somewhere down the road when things get healthier and life is seen in new eyes, they can reconnect. But in the immediate time, I'm like, dude, you don't have to do a goddamn thing for that person, to that person. Let's just figure out a way for you to move on. Let's put aside the forgiveness narrative and figure out a way for you to move on. Let's switch out the word forgiveness. Let's switch that out and start talking about moving on. I mean, it sounds, the temptation to be involved in a revenge narrative and to base a lot of what you do on revenge, like I'm going to show my ex, I'm going to show my mom, I'm going to show my football coach that I'm capable, that I can be successful, that I can give him a big fuck you. I'm gonna do a lot of what I do in life based on those motivations. And there is some good motivation there. I get it. And I think it's good. I think like we all have to find what motivates us. We all have to find these little things that keep us going and help us achieve our happiness, help us achieve our ambitions, accomplish some goals and that sort of shit. But let's drop the revenge narrative. I was in a conversation with a good friend last night and we were discussing this concept of revenge and how we're tempted. We're tempted to maybe not like spend a lot of time planning and plotting a revenge plan against someone who hurt us in the past, but also just kind of hoping that bad shit happens to them. You know, I always tell people that karma will do a better job of getting revenge on the person who hurt you than you ever could. You got to drop it and walk away. You got to drop it and move on. You got to drop it and leave. And I deal with this shit all the time too. I think about these things all the time. But it's not even enough to say, okay, I'm not actively planning to get revenge and to hurt the person who hurt me and to see them suffer the way I suffered. But it would be nice if some bad shit happened to them. And it would be nice if I could celebrate when bad shit happens to them. And you're constantly thinking about that. And you're constantly dwelling on that. And you're checking them out on Instagram. And you're like, oh, fuck, look at that. You know, they haven't posted in a while. Maybe they're going through some shit. Fuck them. We gotta leave that. Even leaving that behind is part of swiping aside the revenge narrative. Even starting to think, this person who hurt me, I don't want bad shit to happen to them. I just want to be done with them. I want to figure out a way for me to be done with them. I want to figure out a way for, as a matter of fact, it's probably good if good things happen to them and they find their own healing and karma deals with them and they figure out their own shit. I just want to figure out a way to move past them. I want to figure out a way to move past them. You know, getting broken hearts and getting hurt by the people we love, getting hurt by the people that we trusted, getting hurt by people who are supposed to love us, it's a part of life. That's one thing that helps me move past relationship hurts. It's a part of life. Humans are imperfect. Humans are fucked up. Everybody, reminder, everyone is just out here trying to figure it out. Everyone is out here just trying to figure it out. People have no clue how to do this life. You think that the billionaire and the wealthy business person, the businesswoman, that boss lady that you know has it all figured out. She's looking for love and looking for answers and looking for guidance just like you are. We are all just trying to figure it out. Nobody understands this. There's a lot of randomness to this life. You are born into situations that you have no control over. We're all just trying to figure it out. We got to remember that. And I think that's a helpful thought when we're trying to release baggage, when we're trying to release like the shit in our hearts. I always tell people, when's the last time you took a time to just comb through your heart, comb through it with a fine-tooth comb and get the impurities out? You know, what are those things that are just causing you anxiety? What are those things that are bugging you? When somebody's name comes up in conversation, do you cringe and get all dark and the demons come over you and you become a vampire, gothic, nasty, dark little bitch and you get angry? When's the last time you combed through your heart and pulled that shit out? It's a great exercise. I don't do it enough. We're so busy in life that we let resentment build up and we let bitterness build up and we let all these dark armors crust over us. We need those times in life to sit back and comb through and say, man, what are the things that are bugging me? I got to comb through my heart. I got to get in there and figure out why I'm upset, why this person's rubbing me the wrong way, because they shouldn't be affecting me this way. I should be able to move on. You know, I'm always reminded that I have every resource inside of my heart. I have every resource of compassion inside of me to fuel me. I have everything I need. If I get some love and some compassion from other people, if I get some of that, that's awesome. That's icing on the cake. But I believe we are all born with everything we need to love ourselves and to heal ourselves and to work through shit. It's in there. We just don't take enough time to comb through and find it. We don't take care of our hearts enough. Take care of your heart, little buddy. Hey, buddy. Hey, little handicapped fella. You taking care of your heart? We need to be doing that. We need to be doing that stuff. And we just don't. Life is too fast and we move too fast. And resentment builds up. I was writing a chapter for a book that my friend is publishing, and my chapter is on resentment. And my whole point about resentment is it just fucking happens. It just fucking happens. The thing about resentment is you could live perfectly with somebody. You could do everything right. You could worship them and take care of them and be the best lover and the best, most compassionate caretaker toward your partner, toward your best friend. But just the very simple fact of moving through life day after day, resentment just builds up. And someone could be perfect. Someone could treat you perfectly, but resentment is a part of life. Resentment starts to build up and you start thinking, what if there's somebody else better than you? All those little things that you do that I think you could do better. Resentment is just a fucking part of life and we have to deal with it and recognize. I think the biggest key to overcoming resentment is recognize that it's happening. Yeah, I'm going to grow in resentment toward this person, but I got to fight it and I got to deal with it and I got to take a look at it. Resentment is a way of life, and no matter how great things are, it builds up. And so you just got to flush it out at times. You got to flush it out at times. I'm having a lot of fun writing about resentment because I realize it affects all of us no matter how we live. You know, obviously resentment gets even worse when there's abuse and toxicity in a relationship and things get really fucked. Yeah, of course resentment builds up, but it's there even in good relationships. Man, I didn't realize it, but I had resentment in my heart because sometimes we resent each other for being awesome. God damn it, I got jealous. Why are you so happy? Why don't you get depressed like me? Why don't you experience anxiety like me? How are you able to get through stressful situations? How are you able to do that? Resentment happens when people are doing great things, when people are living right. So there's a lot about life. There's a lot about this life where revenge and jealousy and hurts and ill will towards each other, it just happens naturally. And we have to just be aware of it. A little bit of self-awareness will help. So that's a little bit of ranting. That's a little bit of some side shit that I'm working on. But today we're talking about moving on, leaving a revenge narrative, not letting that person who hurt you run your life. You know, maybe you don't see them at all. Maybe you don't talk to them. Maybe you don't hang out with them, but you're constantly thinking about their situation. You're constantly thinking about their happiness. You're constantly thinking about their forward progress and their movement rather than yours. You're missing out on moving on. You're missing out on moving on. I think the biggest reminder in the moving on story is, yes, we've all been hurt by people before and we want to see something happen to them. We want to see the universe get them. We want to see them get their due. We want to see them get some payback. Maybe we want to try to pay them back. But when you are happy And when you are focusing on you and you are doing your thing and you're finding things that you love and people that you love and you are staying busy and your body is healthy and you're eating good things and doing good things and feeling good, you will realize, oh shit, I was being so immature about that. I was being so dumb about that. I was focusing way too much on that person, because the hobby isn't your enemy. You shouldn't make a hobby of what's going on with my ex. What's going on with my parent? What's going on with that best friend who stabbed me in the back? We make hobbies of that kind of stuff. It shouldn't be your hobby to be stalking the person who hurt you. It shouldn't be your hobby to be hoping that the person who hurt you gets hurt. Always looking into their life, always trying to figure out where they're at, even trying to sabotage it sometimes. Jesus, that's so fucked up. That shouldn't be our hobby. Our hobby should be us. The best hobby in life that I've discovered is working on you. You know, bring that up in a conversation at the bar with your friends. Hey, what hobbies are you into? Dude, I love the snowboard. I shred, bro. Hey, what hobbies are you into? I'm part of a bowling league. I joined the bowling league. What hobbies are you into, man? Weightlifting. Cool. Fitness, cooking. I'm into some hobbies. I love going to the movies. When you drop into the conversation, my hobby is working on my shit. I love working on my stuff. I love examining me and figuring out where I can do better. What a cool hobby. What a cool hobby. When you focus on that hobby, that bullshit hobby of wanting revenge against the person who hurt you, that bullshit hobby of wanting revenge against your parents, against that mean friend, all that sheds away because you're starting to work on you. And I'm telling you, from somebody who's dealt with a lot of shit in life, working on me, working on my stuff, working on my body, working on my health, working on my fitness, working on my mental health is a cool hobby. It's super fun, and there's always work to do. There's always work to do. Make it one of your hobbies, and everything else in life will flee away. The revenge narratives will flee away. That thing about forgiveness, that thing about moving on will start taking place. You'll be so enamored with trying to get your shit right that you don't care about getting other people's shit right and teaching them lessons. We walk around like a bunch of wounded human beings all the time. Let nobody touch us. Let nobody get close to us because we've been hurt before. I get it. But it takes a lot of courage to say, okay, forget all of that. I'm going to work on me. Forget all of that. I'm going to work on me. And I'm not preaching. I'm not preaching here like I have this all figured out. I don't have this fucking figured out at all. I just had a week where I was so pissed at somebody who hurt me. I was so pissed, like it preoccupied me. I got drunk one night. I hit the whiskey fucking hard and got a big hangover the next day. And I used whiskey and I used alcohol as my anti-anger. And I'll be honest. Some of that whiskey did make me feel a little bit better for the moment. But the next morning, my head was killing me. I was feeling like shit. I was all shaky. I got the whiskey fevers. And so I deal with it too. I get sucked into the revenge narrative. I get sucked into this like being angry about the person who hurt me. I get it. I become a part of that myself. So be encouraged. We're all in this together. We all have people who hurt us. We're all in this together. We're human beings on this real fucked up journey, this random journey, this shit show journey. Be encouraged. We're all in this together and we're doing this thing. We're trying to figure out how to move on. Man, I know it would be fun. I know it would be fun to get some revenge. I know it would be fun to see some of your enemies falter, to teach them a lesson, and especially for you to be the one standing at the top of the hill and saying, look, you little bitch, see, you hurt me, this is what happens to you. But that is the most like non-gratifying way to live life. One of the reasons it doesn't work, it might feel good for a second. One of the reasons it doesn't work because you're not getting better. You're getting worse. You're not taking any forward steps in maturity. You're not taking any forward steps in becoming more compassionate. You're not taking any forward steps in just becoming a better human, a better father, a better girlfriend, a better boyfriend, a better lover. You're not taking any steps further in understanding humanity or self-awareness with yourself or checking in with you. You're probably not becoming a better family member because you're driven by probably competition. You're driven by making a scene. You're driven by teaching lessons. Dude, you ever think about that? Think about your friends who are always out there to teach a lesson. Hey, we got to teach that motherfucker a lesson. And really, that's not the way to live life. Life is learn to be more compassionate, learn to be more open, learn to examine things with a bigger open mind instead of like, hey, buddy, I'm going to go out and spend the rest of this week learning to teach people fucking lessons. That person's door bozoed my car when they got out. Their door hit my car. I'm going to teach them the fucking lesson, get a baseball bat and smash in their windshield. Dude, what is going on in society? Why are we like this? Why is the revenge narrative such a huge motivating factor, such a huge percentage of our time spent in our life? It's so crazy. It's so crazy. And it will block our happiness every time. It will block a good life. You know, life is short. Life is short, right? We get one shot at this. We get one shot at this. Don't spend all your hours and all your dates and all your nights and all of these thinking about the person who hurt you. Figure out a way to move on. I'm going to give 2 tips on what I think is a good way here in a few minutes. Figure out a way to move on. And here's some grace. Like, it's okay to spend a little time thinking about revenge. It's natural. You know, maybe you're in the car driving and you're like, I wonder what that motherfucker's up to. And I hope, you know, I hope it rains on their wedding today. I hope they get a lightning strike right to their wedding and people get hurt and things get bloody and it's a disaster and they realize that they're shitheads. It's okay and it's fun to dwell on that for a little bit, but don't take it too far. Don't take it too long. I was encouraged one time by a friend. He's like, take 1 hour to like be a little bitch. Take 1 hour to be petty. Take 1 hour to think about those things, those movie drama, revenge on the mean girls narratives. Take an hour, and then after that hour, grow the fuck up. Grow up and move on. Figure out a way to move on. You know, if you think about revenge, like, it is fun. It is fun to think in those terms. It is exciting for a minute, but it's not healthy. It's not healthy at all. All right, so a couple things. So if we're saying let's swipe the word forgiveness out because it's loaded and it's religious and it's difficult and it doesn't make sense to a lot of people and it doesn't explain itself enough. We're talking about how do you move on from focusing on the person who hurt you? How do you move on? Here's 2 things. Number 1 is get real with your feelings. Get real with your feelings and get real with your feelings with other people. Find that close group of people you trust. Maybe it's your partner. Maybe it's your best buddies, it's your bar buddies, it's your work buddies. It's the people you go out with to book club. Get real with those people about your feelings. This is one of the best ways to move on. This is one of the best ways to experience what we used to call forgiveness. Now we're calling it moving on. This is one of the best ways. Get real with your feelings. Hey, can we go out and talk tonight? Get your best trusted friend. I'm realizing that I need to talk more about being hurt. This person hurt me and this shit is affecting me and this shit is taking a big place in my life. It's making a big footprint in my life. It's clogging up space in my life and in my heart. I want to just start talking about it more and in a confident way. It's okay to say somebody hurt me and I'm carrying that. Yeah, this person hurt me and fucked up my life quite a bit. Let's talk about that more. Don't try to hide it. Don't try to get on a revenge narrative. Don't try to think it didn't affect you. Yes, it did affect you. It did affect me. I was hurt. I was hurt. Man, I was in a dating relationship 2 years ago. And this is one of those crushes that I fell head over heels. And I have a kiddo. And this woman who was awesome, you know, I don't have anything bad to say about her. She just couldn't wrap her mind around. She couldn't figure out how to date a guy who has a kid, a single guy with a kid. She couldn't figure it out, and she couldn't figure out, you know, how the time works and how I devote my time to my child and how I'm, you know, so confident and so motivated to spend time with my kid and give her priority, and that anyone new that comes into our life has to deal with that. And so we couldn't figure it out. We couldn't get on the same page. And that was one of my biggest heartbreaks. That was one of my biggest, like, oh, it killed me. It killed me. And for a while, I didn't talk about it. I would go on other dates and I would start dating other people. I met some awesome people. But this is like the one that got away. And I for a while, I didn't talk about it. Now I talk about it all the time. This was a big deal. I'll talk about it with a woman that I'm dating. And she appreciates that. And she gets to know me and I get to know her. And I realized this is a hurt that I carry. This is a thing that I carry with me. I'm not 100% over it, I don't think, but I don't have any ill will toward that ex. I don't hate her. As a matter of fact, I really love her. And I'm just like, this is a part of me and I'm carrying it with me. And I'm moving on through life. And we're all doing this. And we're all doing this fucking movement through life thing. So my step 1 thing is like, talk about your hurts. Let them be real, but talk about it in a confident way. It doesn't have to be dark and disgusting. It can be just This is how humanity is. And you'll find when you start talking about your hurts, you'll start talking about that person who hurt you. More importantly, talking about how you feel. Other people around you will come in for support and they'll share their stories. One of the best ways to move on is get real with your hurts. Get real with your feelings. Get real with your feelings about being hurt by somebody from the past and talk about it more. Find someone you can talk about it to. I'm hurt. This thing changed me. This thing woke me up. This thing messed with me. This is a real thing in my life. I've accepted it. I'm dealing with it. I'm not pretending it didn't happen. I'm pretending, I'm not pretending that this was an imaginary thing that I can escape. I can't escape it. It's a part of me. It's a part of me. That is how we get over the revenge narrative. That's one way that we move on. Get real with your feelings. Get real with your feelings. It's no shame to be vulnerable and tell people that, yeah, that person hurt me. I really love that person. I really put some stock in them and they hurt me. That friend that I thought was going to be there for me, that best bro, man, I felt like he was selfish and he hurt me. It's okay to get real with your feelings. If you start getting real with your feelings, get comfortable talking about it, get comfortable being with those hurts, and then carrying them. I always tell people too, like the healing process of life is just moving forward in time. Some of these wounds, I don't know if they ever close. It's okay. It's okay. If you think every wound is going to close, you're fucking crazy. Some of these wounds will never close, and we just carry them with us because it's part of who we are. That's okay. Hopefully, you're working on you. Hopefully, you're talking about you. Step one in the moving on, since I'm convincing people to not use the word forgiveness as much anymore and use the word, how do I move on from that person who hurt me? Step one is get real with your feelings. Dude, it's so hard. I'm not good at this. I'm not good at this. I like to come across as someone who has all my shit together. I'm so happy. I'm so chill. Oh man, yeah, that person tried to throw some daggers at me. That person was gossiping about me. That person was hurting my feelings. That person was saying all kinds of shit about me. It doesn't affect me. I'm cool. You're goddamn right it affects me. I need to be more real about that. Sometimes in the comment sections, sometimes when you're involved in more of like a public speaking thing, people are going to say a lot of shit about you. You don't have to pretend that you're like so over it and so above it. If it hurts you, talk about it. If it hurts you, talk about it. Get real with your feelings. Get real with your feelings. And you will have better relationships. You'll have better relationships when you get real with your feelings. You connect with your friends. When they say like, how are you doing today? And if you are just really bumming out because somebody had hurt you, it's okay to get real with it. Get real with it. That is part of the way of moving on. Get real with it. It's a real gross, strange relationship when you're with that person who's just got all their shit together and they never get real with their feelings. They never get their feelings hurt. They never let on that somebody betrayed them. They never let on that somebody broke their heart. They never let on that somebody caused them to like have second thoughts about their motivation, second thoughts about their career and their success. Somebody put them in their place. It's really strange when you meet people who aren't willing to share that kind of shit. Watch out. That's a red flag. That's a red flag. Hey, how are you doing today? Everything's great. Top of the world. That may be true, but if that's constantly and always the only thing they talk about, that's a red flag. Get real with your feelings. It's time to get real with your feelings. The second thing in the forgiveness mission, and remember, we're throwing out the word forgiveness and putting in the word move on. How do you move on from those hurts from that person? The first thing is get real with your feelings. Talk about them more. Be a real fucking human for once. The second thing is do what you love. One of the best ways to move on, to forgive, to get over revenge narratives, to not focus on hurting the people who hurt you, to not focus on their lives and letting their bullshit towards you run your life. One of the best ways to do it is start doing what you love. Okay, I'm going to start doing what I love. I'm going to start doing what I love. One of the hardest parts in that step, though, is a lot of us don't know what we love. A lot of us haven't taken the time to figure out what we love, to work it out. Start doing what you love. Zero in on your jam. Zero in on your hobbies. Figure out what you love. Figure out what makes you happy. A lot of times when we are focused on the people who hurt us and we're giving them this big footprint in our life and it's kind of running our lives and motivating us and stifling our creativity, it's stifling our success, it's because we're not focusing on what we love. Dude, take some time to figure out what you love. Do you like being creative? Get some creative shit going. Get a podcast going. Get some painting going. Start building some furniture. Build a fucking house. Get creative. Let your creative juices flow. When you have a creative outlet, you will feel great about life. Start focusing in on what you love. Do you love movies? Go to the movies more. You love storytelling. Go find movies that you like. Go have a movie by yourself. Go to the goddamn movies by yourself. There's no shame in that. Go to the bar by yourself, get a dinner by yourself, and then go to the movies by yourself and date yourself. If you love movies, start focusing on what you like. A lot of people don't do that kind of shit because they're scared. A lot of people don't do the thing they love because what will people think? You know? I always talk about the art of not giving a fuck. The art, because it's an art. Because you're starting to learn to believe in yourself and believe in your instinct and trust yourself and do the thing that you like. Because life is short, dude. We got to start moving on. We got to start moving on. Start doing the things that you love more. Be a little bit more selfish. Let your selfishness flourish a little bit more. And you will slowly start seeing that revenge narrative and that shit that's blocking you from moving on from hurts of the past. You'll start seeing it slipping away. Do what you love. Do what you love. A lot of times, we carry bitterness from a past relationship or a past hurt because that person blocked us from doing what we love. And maybe it wasn't even their fault. Maybe we did it. Maybe we focused too much in on taking care of them. We didn't take care of ourselves enough. Start doing what you love. That is the number one, in my opinion, step to moving on. Get real with your feelings. Start doing the things you love. And if you need to figure out what you love, okay, that's a journey to go on. That's a huge journey to go on. Do you love working hard? Maybe you put aside some of your career because you're too focused on those wounds from the past. Get back to work. Start doing what you love. Maybe you love fashion. Maybe one of the things that you love is expressing your fashion on your body, expressing your art and the beauty in your heart through clothing. I want to wear this shirt and show off my creativity. I want to wear these crazy fucking pants, these beautiful shoes. I want to get into fashion and expression. What a beautiful hobby. Maybe that was stifled in a past relationship. Start doing it right now and you will watch the hurts from that past relationship fade away. Maybe you think you have to dress a certain way in the culture that you're in. Maybe you're in a cowboy town and you want to dress like a city person. Maybe you're in a city town and you want to dress like a cowgirl. Go fucking do it. Start being you and start doing the things you love and you will see the hurts of the past shed and fall away. One of the cool things about flourishing on your own, getting real with your feelings, doing the things you love, flourishing on your own is everyone else will flourish around you. When you're brave, everyone else becomes brave around you. Your friends get influenced. Wow, that was really cool. You took a chance. You took a chance. And talk about it. Man, it was really hard for me to start dressing this way. I wanted to wear shorter dresses. I wanted to show off my legs more. I wanted to wear higher heels. I wanted to wear tighter jeans. I wanted to wear brighter colors. I want to start wearing cute little fedoras. Fedorables. These are fucking fedorable. I want to wear hats more. I want to show off my creativity every day through my fashion. And people start seeing you be brave and making up a change. That's one of the coolest things in life. When I notice people doing that, I praise them. I see what you did there, girl. I see what you did there, brother. Damn, you're looking sharp. You're taking a chance. Or you look like a fucking clown, but you're taking a chance. Props. Great job. Great job. Start doing what you love and you will just start experiencing forgiveness. Start flourishing on your own and you will start experiencing moving on. The revenge narrative falls away. None of us should be giving time and effort and psychological footprint and space in our lives to the people who hurt us in the past. It's time to move on. It's time to move past that. It's time to move past that. You may still be in love with your ex. You may still be in love with that parent or that person that hurt you, that grandparent that abused you. You may still love them. That's okay. You don't have to stop loving them, but you got to start doing you and you got to start loving yourself more. That's what moving on is all about. Being real with your feelings is like, man, I still love that person and they hurt me. You don't have to say, I hate that person. I don't love him anymore. If you still love him, talk about it. I still love that person. That was some fucked up shit. I still love them. I have compassion for them. Talk about it. But talk about the real thing. If you talk about the false thing, if you try to lie and be tough and be strong, you're not going to be moving on anymore. Our 2 steps for moving on, and these are some things that are encouraging me. Let's get real with our feelings. Take a check-in with your feelings. You know what you can do? A little exercise. I was sitting at the bar with my best friend last night, and we were drinking and having a great time and feeling good, and the work week was done. And you know that moment where the work week is done, you're at the bar and you're just like, life can't get any fucking better than this. I had a moment, and she asked me a question, my best friend, and she's like, you know, what's going on? How are you feeling about this? And I realized I wanted to just give a quick, I'm doing great. But the better thing is to connect. And so I took a minute, I said, hey babe, let me check in and see. And I asked for like a minute, and I closed my eyes right there in front of the bar, in front of everyone. And I closed my eyes and took a couple deep breaths, and I checked in to see, was my chest heavy with anxiety? And I checked it, and yeah, oh shit, there's some stuff I'm dealing with. I didn't feel really good. And I had this opportunity to open up to my friend and share a little bit, and I got real with my feelings. Practice that. Let me check in right now. Someone says, how do you feel? How's it going? Be slow to answer. Take a minute. Let me see. Let me close my eyes and envision all that fucked up shit that's going on. Yeah, I'm brokenhearted about politics in America. I'm checking in right now. I'm checking in. I'm brokenhearted about my financial situation. God damn, it's bugging me. Can I talk about that? I'm brokenhearted. Somebody called me this name. Am I really like that? Somebody said I'm this. Am I really like that? Let me take a minute to check in. God damn it, we're such robots. We're such weirdos. Why can't we live life better? Why can't we live life better? You want to get over revenge. You want to get over your ex. You want to get over that person who hurt you. One, start getting real with your feelings. I love that person. They hurt me. Those are real shit. Learn to talk about it. I'll carry those hurts with me. I carry those hurts with me. It's a part of me now. It's okay. You don't have to hide it away. It doesn't have to go away. Carry it with you. Number one, get real with your feelings. Number two, start doing more of the things you love. Take some more risks. Take some more chances. You know, a lot of people say take chances in your 20s. That's the time to take chances. You can fail and you can mess up and you can do all this shit. I say take chances your whole life. Life is short. Take chances in your 50s. Take chances in your 60s, 70s, 80s. Take chances. Try some stuff out. Try some new stuff. One of the beauties of life is always trying new things. Challenge yourself to try new things. These are how forgiveness works. This is how forgiveness works. This is how moving on works. These are some thoughts that I've been thinking about on the Kevin Wright Show, on the podcast, and I hope you can get out there and move on a little bit. I'm trying to move on. I'm right there with you, dude. Everybody is right there with you. We're all trying to move on from past hurts. We're all trying to figure shit out. We're all trying to get our brains right. So I love you. I'm in the journey of moving on with you, and let's just be real about stuff. I'm fucked up right now. I'm hurt right now. And try to figure out what you love. That's how forgiveness starts to happen. Moving on. Love you guys. Have a great one.